It is September 16th. Let's get into last week's price action and talk about some potential scenarios for today. So we can see that this is the month-to-date VWAP. And the beginning of the month, this was acting as an area of supply. Last week, we were able to break above it, squeezing everyone out that's shorting and got into a rally, almost pushing into a new all-time high. Here's last week's week-to-date VWAP on Monday. So we started trading sideways, got an aggressive shakeout. Then we rallied and broke this previous month-to-date VWAP and resistance area. We could see the 5-day moving average was flat to declining. And now, as it starts to flatten and rise, we actually create higher highs and higher lows. Versus on the flip side, we had lower lows and lower highs underneath that declining 5-day moving average by the shaded red area. So we could see our 2-day RSI is a little overbought right now, and we're starting to get some alignment to the downside. So we'll see if this RSI gets above the signal and can break above this 70 area, or we start to revert back to this 50 to 40 boundary and can catch a trend signal. The 10-day, the 5-day, and the 10-day MACD got a crossover as we rallied into this month-to-date VWAP, and then we started to get some alignment that here was the slower signal. The 10-day was declining. The 10 days flattened to rise with the flat to rising 5-day moving average. So there's some confirmation on the intermediate time frame as well. Diving into that daily time frame, we got this 10-day RSI still having alignment, and the signal line actually retesting that 40 area. That's what we're kind of looking to see maybe could happen as a potential scenario over the next couple of days with the 2-day RSI. And then we could look to get a trend signal with alignment right here. So the 10-day RSI still has some room. However, it just did get a nice extreme push. We have the 10 and 20-day MACD smoothed by a 5 crossing over right now on Thursday's trading action. So we got a little confirmation so far to a crossover of the 10-day EMA MACD trading above the 20-day EMA MACD. So what we'd be looking for today is a potential scenario to pop in like this today. So we'll talk about the preferred scenario. I would like this to push back down to this 2-day VWAP, catch a bounce, get everyone to buy, shake them out, and come back down into this 550 area to 548. Okay, we can see this VP area and the little VP gap, and the week-to-date VWAP from last week, month-to-date VWAP, 5-day moving average, the VWAP from the low, all coincides in this area. So from this area, this is where I would prefer a pullback. Now I'd like to see some evidence that buyers regain control, get some higher highs and higher lows on the intermediate time frame. And from there, this 5-day moving average would be anticipated to look something like that. So we got this rally to a new high of a flat to rising 5-day, pulls back, starts to get some strength. We could set something up in this area at the 555 to 552, maybe 548 area, which would be a pretty wide stop depending on your time frame. So that's a potential scenario. Maybe we get a bounce and it doesn't rally and we get trapped under this area, and we'd be looking for something like this, breaking below 550 and then coming down back into this 542 area. So that is a potential scenario I'll be watching for the next couple of days to see what we get. So right now, innocent until proven guilty, like Brian Shannon says. Now we got this 5-day moving average rising. So I'm looking to see if we pull back here, get some stability, and this month-to-date VWAP, week-to-date, this VP level of 550 to 548, regain control, get back above 550, and then rally back into this 557 area. So maybe that's a scenario that could take place over the next day before the rate cuts. Perhaps we just keep going, okay, and we hold the VWAP and just pull back to the 2-day VWAP, right? Get back above the daily VWAP, and then go into create a new all-time high once we break above this 564. So potentially a lot of people can be waiting to say, hey, I want to buy this breakout of 564, but we can maybe anticipate that, cheat that at 562, maybe de-risk into that breakout area, and then let the rest run. Let's dive into that QQQ. So we're looking at the QQQ. It's a very similar scenario. We'll drop a VWAP at this low right here, and we could see this key level at this 461.76. We're holding we have a lot of indicators coinciding with one another. So the VWAP from the low, week to date VWAP, month to date VWAP, 5-day moving average, and actually this VWAP from August low. So we have a VP gap in this area here. So maybe we could fill this area and catch a little bounce here at this 461 area to 457. Get back above 467, because anyone that's selling from this high, trading above 467, will be losing money, and that could fuel a bigger rally back up to 485 to 493. So preferred situation, just like the SPY, let's fill that VP gap, get a little bounce in here, and then set up for a trade. And our 5-day moving average could get to look something like that potentially, because we'll be getting rid of the data here Tuesday, Wednesday. We start to add higher data. So come Wednesday, if we are at this 565, that 5-day moving average will flatten out. So maybe we could get a shakeout underneath it, and Wednesday look to hold the 5-day moving average and look to participate somewhere in here at this 466, potential stop at 458 to 460, depending on your time frame, for a rally into this 476 and a potential break into this 484, 493 area. We can see on the daily time frame we have a gap over here. So maybe we could get a gap fill over the next couple of days. If this shakes out and this potential scenario doesn't play out, just like we talked about on the SPY, monitoring, getting trapped, a rally up into here, breaking this 460 for a decline into 452, 455, breaking this low down into 440. So hopefully this was helpful.